HHN is less than 2 weeks away, and for our first timers, that can be a little bit scary. So this video today is devoted straight to the first timers of HHN this year, with the complete first timers guide. So let's talk about it. Welcome to the Horror Fiends. I'm your certified horror dad, Kyle Beatty, and this is my wife, Amber. Today we are giving you the scoop on everything you need to know before you attend HHN for your first time this year. So let's dive straight into it, starting on a timeline. So before you even get to the event, before it is September 1st, you need to know when you are going to the event and where you are staying. So you need to first book your ticket for the event. The most simple option for tickets is going to be the single night ticket, where you attend one night and that's it. But if you want to attend the event more than once, I recommend going onto the multi-night ticket options, meaning the Rush of Fear, the Frequent Fear Plus, and the Ultimate Frequent Fear. Now, if you want to add Express onto those ticket options, that is possible. It does make it significantly more expensive, but it does allow you to skip the lines for haunted houses. More ticket options available would be the Scream Early ticket, where you can enter the park before everyone else and stay in a Stay and Scream area and be the first in line for a house you choose. There's also the RIP tour, which puts you on a guided tour throughout the entire event. It is a good way to know that you'll experience all 10 houses, all 5 scare zones, and the one show in a single night. And there's also the Unmasking the Horror tour. Now, if you haven't booked that yet, at this point, it is basically sold out. You do have the 3 house ones still available, but if you want to go through the 6 house guided lights on tour of the haunted houses, they're almost sold out, so you would have to get them like right now.
As far as hotels go, Universal does have their own resorts that you can stay in. They're a lot closer to Universal itself. And when you're staying in these, they do have personalized experiences for each resort. And when you're staying in the Universal resorts, you do get complimentary shuttle access, which is going to be very helpful for getting to and from the park, so that you're not having to pay for Ubers or parking.
Now, these hotels have their own unique experiences, such as the Chucky Twisted Playground and the Universal Monsters Gallery in some of the resorts. Also, you're going to have some spooky themed bars in the resorts. So if you want to stay at a resort, that's probably the best bet for HHN. But if not, there are some local hotels around for more affordable options. So now you've got your tickets for HHN and you want to know what to bring to the park. So get your backpack ready, and I'm going to show you everything I put in my bag for the event. Now, what you bring to HHN is based on your own preference, but for me, I bring some certain things that I'd like to show you today. The first one being the Coke Freestyle Cup. This one looks a bit different than the ones they currently have or have had in the past few years. But I bring these every year. I refill it myself and get Coke all the time. But if you don't want to, pay to refill one of these things, you can get water in these. And being in Florida, and with it being so hot recently, you're gonna want to refill one of these, even just with water. So the next thing I bring to the parks is an umbrella. That I always bring this to HHN. It's Florida. The weather is super unpredictable here. It rains quite a lot during HHN. Make sure you have some sort of umbrella, poncho, raincoat, whatever you want to bring to the parks. Just make sure you're prepared for the rain. That way you're not walking around in soaked clothes all night. And the next thing, keeping on that same topic of weather, I have an extra pair of socks. You don't want to rock around with, like soaked shoes, soaked, socks. So make sure you bring an extra pair of socks if you are wearing socks to the park. If you're wearing sandals, that doesn't apply to you. But this is a really good idea to bring to the park. That way you're not walking around with wet feet all night. Next thing I have is, if you're like me and you like to film things, take pictures of things throughout the event, a portable charger will be your best friend. They sell them at the park, but they are much more expensive than they would be at, let's say, Walmart or Five Below. I recommend getting you a portable charger to bring to the park to keep your phone or maybe your camera charged throughout your entire visit. And the last thing I have in my bag is some ibuprofen. You're gonna get headaches. You're gonna be walking around in the heat all day, going through loud houses, loud scare zones. Music is always playing during HHN. Make sure you bring some ibuprofen to help out with any headaches you might have. Now, there's other things you can bring to the parks as well, such as earplugs if you're sensitive to sound, and cooling fans, portable fans, whatever you want to bring to the park to stay cool, hydrated, and ready for HHN. But that's it for what you should probably bring to HHN, so let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so now it's the night before opening night, or whatever night you're going on your trip. And you need to make sure that everything I said before is packed, and make sure that the Universal app or whatever you're using to access your tickets is ready to go. And make sure you go to sleep early because your sleep schedule is gonna be completely messed up after this. So now it is the day before your trip. It is time to basically go to the parks. Go to the parks, make sure you are eating and staying hydrated all day. That way you don't crash at the end of the night. There are plenty of good options for food and, you know, Coke freestyle machines in City Walk before the event starts. I recommend getting your shopping partially out of the way as well with all the HHN merch that will be out on booths and in the Universal store and everything around. Just really soak up everything. Take a look at the new Dead Coconut Club this year. Take a look at everything before you enter the park. Now, one thing to note is make sure you are at those gates early. If you have Stay and Scream, it's a little different for you, but make sure you still get to your Stay and Scream, enter the park a little bit early to experience the park before you get stuck inside of your Stay and Scream area. But if you are just going to wait at the gates and you want to see the opening ceremony, make sure you are there early because that gate gets very packed with everyone going to enter the park. We usually go around like 2, 3-ish and the event starts at like 6. It's very, you know, boring for a while there because you're just going to be sitting there in the heat or the rain, whatever is going on in Florida at the time. So make sure you bring those items I told you to bring because they're going to really come in handy here. Now, if this is your first time going to the event, the opening ceremony is something you don't want to miss. If you're in Stay and Scream, it's very possible you will miss it. But if you're going to be waiting at those gates up at front like we're telling you to, you're going to want to see the opening ceremony because this is when Halloween Horror Nights is about to happen. All the characters will come out and put on a performance before the gates open and you rush inside. It is a very different experience than anything you will ever experience at Universal.
So once you've survived waiting outside the gates and have gotten in with your tickets, you need to make sure that you have a game plan for once you're in the park. Basically, just make sure you know what's most important to you to get done that night because sometimes you have to spread it out or you may not get it all done in your first night there. So just know what you want to do, what you want to try, and where you want to go.
Now with this game plan, it's very easy to get caught up inside your plans of what houses you're going to. So make sure you take some time to experience the food that is there, that is exclusive to HHN, and the tribute store, which is always themed a certain way. This year's is going to be a New York comic book store. So this is something you're going to want to experience. Tribute stores are always great at Universal, but the HHN one is on another level. Another thing you're not going to want to miss, I know you can get caught up going to these houses, especially with the big IPs like Last of Us and Stranger Things and Monsters. Don't miss the show. The show, Nightmare Fuel Revenge Dream, will be back again here this year, and it's something you're not going to want to miss. It gives you a chance to sit down. No, it's not like an AC or anything like that, but it's something you can sit down for a little bit and actually enjoy a performance. And piggybacking off of that, make sure you take some time to actually enjoy the event. This is what all your money has gone to. This is what all your excitement has led up to. Make sure you're taking some time to actually enjoy HHN. I know it's easy to get stressed, especially if you're just going a single night, but this is an event that happens once a year and changes every single year. You won't get the same experience again. So trust me, just sit and enjoy the event for a little bit. This is Halloween Horror Nights. You're here, you're in the park, the music's playing, the characters are running around in their scare zones. You're here. Make sure you're taking some time to actually enjoy it. And then comes the saddest part of the night. It is the end of the night. It's 2 a.m. You've gone through all the houses. You've experienced all the scare zones. You're very tired, but it's finally time to leave HHN for the night. If it's a single night, that may be your last time for the year. Multi-night, you might come back the next night, but it's going to be the saddest time of the year. This is why we recommended the resort hotels because you have those shuttles. You don't have to drive all the way back to wherever hotel you're staying in. So this is going to be the saddest part of the night. I'm warning you in advance, but ending your night, make sure you get back to your hotel, maybe eat something, drink something, whatever, so you're replenished for your next day, whether you're going back home or going back to the parks again. Let us know if this First Timers Guide helped you for planning for your first time going to HHN this year. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you're always notified whenever we post, because we'll be covering all of HHN 32 for you. Also, if you want to become a member of the channel and join the Haunted Homies, that is also available through the link in the description below, so you can receive exclusive content from the Horror Fiends, including live stream after parties, an exclusive Discord channel, and early access to the videos you see here. But besides that, we will see you in the fog, and we will see you in the morgue.